This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Friday, June 6th, 2025. I'm Gary Dick. As Amazon Web Services and General Motors ramp up construction on massive projects in St. Joseph County, water resources are once again a topic of concern for local residents who say their wells are losing water. Following complaints from residents east of New Carlisle, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources is investigating a handful of residential wells. The state's investigation comes as St. Joseph County officials are increasing their testing mechanisms, says the county's executive director for economic development, Bill Shalio.
We're doing a lot of things. We're learning a lot of things. We're learning a lot of things together. And AWS, there'll be some reports that'll come out later this summer of new practices that this site, this SBN site project, are causing them to do across their entire business model. So they've had smaller projects where they built things, but haven't had the water into this level.
The Ivy Tech Community College State Board of Trustees has voted to freeze tuition and mandatory fees for the next 2 academic years. The decision follows Governor Braun's request and a unanimous recommendation by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education that all public higher education institutions freeze tuition. Grillo's Pickles has confirmed plans for a new $54 million food manufacturing operation to meet growing national demand from a site near Columbus. Grillo's Pickles recently broke ground on a new production facility along I-65 in Bartholomew County. The Taylorsville facility will be adjacent to a previously announced $175 million King's Hawaiian bakery operation. Both companies are subsidiaries of Irresistible Foods Group. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. Northwest Indiana is on the move, and the next big conversation is happening in Valparaiso. Join business and community leaders at Innovate Northwest Indiana, a powerful afternoon of ideas, innovation, and insight. We're talking talent, technology, and transformation, and what's next for the region. Join us at Valparaiso University July 9, part of the Innovate Indiana series presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate. One of the co-owners of a legally entangled Indianapolis commercial development firm that has been ordered to cease operations has partnered with 2 of the company's employees to start a new business. Chris Sager, who has long overseen Pure Development along with co-founder Drew Sanders, on Thursday announced the launch of Canopy 5. The Indianapolis headquartered firm is a partnership between Sager and longtime Pure executives Brian Palmer and Adam Sager, Chris's brother. The company will have regional offices in Dallas, Denver, and Charleston, South Carolina. A former administrator of 2 defunct Indiana virtual charter schools has agreed to plead guilty to a federal charge of wire fraud conspiracy.
Percy Clark, who helped oversee Indiana Virtual School and Indiana Virtual Pathways Academy, admitted to participating in a plan to inflate student enrollment numbers to obtain tens of millions of dollars in state education funding. According to a plea agreement filed in federal court on May 27th, Clark will avoid prison time but serve 5 years of probation, including 2 years of home confinement without electronic monitoring. He will also be jointly responsible for paying $44.6 million in restitution. Clark is one of 3 defendants arrested in 2024 following a multi-year federal investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Indiana and the FBI into the virtual school's operations. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Franciscan Health Lafayette has announced plans to build a freestanding emergency department in West Lafayette. The proposed emergency medical facility will be located on the same grounds as the Franciscan Health Hospital and is valued at a $25.7 million investment. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.